What would you give up for love? A fortune? A family name? For one Thai princess, the answer was a crown. In 1972, she walked away from centuries of royal tradition, gave up her title, her name, even her official identity, all to marry an ordinary American man and live as a private citizen in the United States. She traded palace ceremonies for grocery store runs, royal protocol for PTA meetings. It sounds like a fairy tale in reverse, but her story doesn't end there. Decades later, she would return to Thailand, face devastating personal loss, and even attempt something no Thai royal had ever done before. This is the extraordinary story of Princess Ubolratana Rajakanya and where she is today. Our story begins in the quiet Swiss city of Lausanne. On the 5th of April, 1951, a baby girl was born there to a young Thai prince and princess living abroad. That baby was Ubolratana, and she would grow up to become the eldest child of two people who would soon become enormously important to an entire nation, King Bhumibol Adulyadej and Queen Sirikit of Thailand. When her parents returned home to take the throne, young Ubolratana grew up inside the royal family, educated at Bangkok's Chitralada school. Despite the palace walls around her, she wasn't a distant, sheltered figure. She loved sailing, and at just 16 years old, she partnered with her own father, King Bhumibol, to win a gold medal in the sport at the Southeast Asian Games in 1967. A king and his teenage daughter competing together on the water. That bond with her father became one of the defining relationships of her life. She was, by most public accounts, one of his favorites among his children. It's a detail worth remembering because it makes the choice she was about to make even more remarkable. It wasn't the choice of someone eager to escape her family, it was the choice of someone deeply rooted in that world who nonetheless chose to step outside of it. As a young woman, Ubolratana left Thailand to chase an American education, enrolling at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, one of the most demanding universities in the world. Picture it, a Thai princess sitting in packed lecture halls, working through mathematics problem sets alongside classmates who likely had no idea their fellow student was royalty. She studied mathematics, earning her Bachelor of Science degree. It was at MIT that her life quietly changed forever. She met a fellow student, an American named Peter Ladd Jensen. What began as friendship grew into something deeper. When Thailand's royal family learned of the relationship, they reportedly did not approve a romance between a Thai princess and an American commoner challenged generations of tradition. Ubolratana made her choice anyway. On the 25th of July, 1972, she married Peter Jensen. Under Thai royal custom, marrying a foreign commoner meant she had to formally relinquish her royal title. To relinquish a title means to voluntarily give it up. She was no longer to be addressed as Her Royal Highness. She traded that title for a new, deliberately ordinary name, Mrs. Julie Jensen. She went on to finish her degree at MIT and later earned a master's in public health from UCLA, her education becoming the bridge between the life she was born into and the one she chose for herself. For the next 26 years, Ubolratana lived quietly in the United States, largely in Southern California, as a private citizen. It's worth pausing on how significant that was. This was a woman who had grown up surrounded by royal ceremony and constant public attention, and she chose, instead, to become someone most of her American neighbors likely never suspected was royalty at all. She and Peter Jensen built a family together, raising 3 children: Ploy Palin, born in 1981, Poom, born in 1983, and Sirikitia, born several years later. By most accounts, she embraced this ordinary American life, fully school runs, family dinners, the small, unremarkable moments that make up daily life, all without palace staff or royal protocol dictating her schedule. She made occasional visits back to Thailand over the years, gradually reappearing at royal events alongside her mother, Queen Sirikit, especially through the 1990s. But her home remained firmly in America. For over 2 decades, the woman born into one of the world's most storied monarchies lived largely as a private mother in the United States. But no story of reinvention comes without hardship. In 1998, after 26 years of marriage, Ubolratana and Peter Jensen divorced by several accounts, a difficult and contentious split. Following the divorce, she made more frequent trips home to Thailand, and in 2001, she made that return permanent, relocating for good with her 3 children. Then came a tragedy that captured the world's attention. On the 26th of December 2004, one of the most devastating natural disasters in modern history struck Southeast Asia, the Indian Ocean tsunami. Ubolratana's son, Poom, just 21 years old, was in Khao Lak, Thailand at the time. He was killed in the disaster. The loss was a tragedy Thailand mourned publicly, alongside her a mother and former princess grieving a loss no title or palace could have prevented. For a woman who had already sacrificed so much, this grief cut through everything else, and it remains one of the most painful chapters of her life. In the years that followed, Ubolratana rebuilt her life once again in the country of her birth. She resumed royal duties, though she never formally reclaimed the title Her Royal Highness. She remained officially Princess Ubolratana without that particular royal style. A quiet nod to the choice she'd made decades earlier, she threw herself into charitable work. In 2007, she founded the To Be Number One Foundation, dedicated to helping young Thai people avoid and recover from drug addiction. It grew into one of the most visible public health campaigns in the country. And in a twist few would have predicted, the MIT mathematics graduate became a fixture in Thai entertainment, acting in television dramas and films, contributing as a screenwriter, appearing at international film festivals, and even performing alongside a popular Thai girl group. She became known as one of the more approachable, culturally engaged members of Thailand's royal family. A princess as comfortable on a film set as at a state ceremony. Then, in February 2019, Ubolratana did something no Thai royal had ever attempted. She announced her candidacy for Prime Minister of Thailand, running as the sole candidate for a party linked to former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra. It was an almost unimaginable move. Thailand's monarchy has traditionally stood entirely above party politics, and a royal entering electoral politics directly shattered that norm overnight. She stated publicly that she had relinquished all her royal titles decades earlier and was exercising her rights as an ordinary citizen. But the response was swift. Her younger brother, King Maha Vajiralongkorn, publicly opposed her candidacy, stating royals should remain neutral, in keeping with tradition and the constitution. Within days, Thailand's election commission disqualified her candidacy altogether, a striking short-lived chapter that revealed just how far she was willing to go to define her own path. Today, Ubolratana remains in Thailand, continuing her charitable and cultural work, still closely tied to the To Be Number One Foundation. She's active on social media, sharing her life and projects with a large engaged following. She remains a recognizable, respected cultural figure, appearing at film festivals, performances, and charitable events, often blending her royal status with her entertainment career in a way that feels distinctly her own. She's frequently described in Thai media as one of the more relatable members of the royal family, someone who chose an unconventional path decades ago, and never fully abandoned that spirit even after returning to public life. In her 70s now, she's remembered as a woman who walked away from a crown once for love, faced profound personal loss, and continued to define her own path on her own terms. Ubolratana's life is a story about the choices we make when love and duty pull in opposite directions. It's about the quiet courage it takes to walk away from privilege and the resilience it takes to rebuild after divorce, after devastating loss, after political setback. She gave up a title for an ordinary life, then found her way back to public life without ever fully becoming ordinary again. Few of us will ever face the exact choice she did. But her story still asks something universal of all of us. When love and legacy collide, what would you choose?